So what we are going today is an activity, is activity number one. This activity number one, it will have a huge impact in in your whole project for this semester because you are going to define the methodology and hopefully the method that you are going to use. Um, so the steps to do this is first read this. I think it's a 4-page reading about the meaning of research. It's a very interesting introduction to a book chapter that was written by two very famous accounting researchers from the UK. And I think it's very interesting because it's really about the meaning of research. Why do we do research? So it can help you to define what do you want to study. Do you want to study accounting as something that exists in there, like accounting as a piece of paper, as a data set, as numbers, or do you want to study as as relationships between people, as organizations, as maybe an industry discussing new things, as trends in management? Is that what you, is that how you define accounting? Which side would you take? It's very interesting. So take a look at this text, take a quick read. If it's too difficult for you, I think it's not, but if there are words you don't understand, you can come to the Zoom and ask me. If you don't understand anything, don't worry, just read it. I can know it can be frustrated, but I think it's not that difficult, but try to read it. So that's step 0. So you should do that. Step 1 is to, well, more than steps, I suggest that you meet with your groups, um, the ones that you are going to work throughout the whole semester, and then discuss and decide an answer to these 4 things. So my suggestion is that you should write a piece of paper on Excel, and for each point, write a paragraph answering to whatever is on this point, right? So number 1, state the methodology and the suggested research method. So in one paragraph, write, we are going to use quantitative methodology, uh, and we are going to do a survey, for instance, that, or we are going to use a Bloomberg data set. That's an option. Or you can say the opposite. We're going to do a qualitative method. We're going to use qualitative methodology, and we are going to use a case study because we have access to a single um, and very interesting case. That's another option. So in the second paragraph, you are going to justify your choice, but with the philosophical stance. That means we are going to do quantitative, we are going to use a quantitative methodology because we define digital transformation as a matter of technological change or software improvement or intense on, or hours worked on technology issues. I don't know, something like that, but something that is very objective. Or on the other hand, you can say the opposite. You can say, uh, we are going to use qualitative methodology because we are going to focus on the context of the change. We are going to focus on the deep understanding of how people react to change and digital transformation. That's what we are going to focus. That's fine. And you can propose, and you can also justify your proposed research method. You can say, we're going to use a case study, single case study, because we only have access to one case. Or because this case, it's so interesting that we can analyze digital transformation in the context of mariachis, which is something that it, it's difficult to understand. How can a mariachi transform digitally? I don't know. That's something very, very interesting. If I see on a journal that there is a paper about mariachis transforming into a digital environment, I will read it because it's very interesting. But if I see a paper that says, we are going to study digital transformation in Deloitte, it's like there are like 100 papers about this and I already know the answer. It's because they want to be more productive and that's it. So it can be boring to do a case study like that. You need to convince the reader to read your paper, otherwise it's like, I won't read it. Number 3, the third paragraph, is now justify the same thing, but from the other point of view, the data, what's what you have. So in here, it's the philosophical stance. So you are going to discuss, or you are going to justify your choice by saying that how you define the phenomenon, it's more objective or subjective. And in here, it's all about the data. It's like, it's because we have two cases in two different regions of Jalisco or in two states, and then we want to compare the context from one state to the other. That's fine. Or if you want to say, um, it's because we have access to this database that has, I don't know, it has the amount of money spent on digital transformation, and then the outcome is measured in this way. That's perfect. And finally, state the advantages and disadvantages from each methodology, because all of them have disadvantages and advantages. Like maybe if you choose a quantitative methodology, an objective methodology, then maybe you are going to lose some sense of the context of a developing country. Maybe that's an idea. Or if you choose the other, maybe it's too narrow, and maybe you will need to go really deep into detail to provide a good story. So it's all about this. It's just you can, maybe an advantage for you is that you are really good with math, and then it will be an advantage to do an statistical analysis, or a disadvantage if you are not that good. So it's all about you stating what you want to do. And this part is super important because of two reasons. First, you're going to define the methodology. So that is, I don't know, it's like your baby is already born once you decide that. It's the very first step. And second, um, because part of this is probably going to be in your paper, in the final paper, at least uh, these two justifications. So spend some time writing this. You need to submit this by the end of the of the class, so at 9:30 at last. So uh, take your time, but also write it. You only need to write 4 paragraphs. It's not that much, but pay attention to detail, okay? So take your time. If you need more help, I'm happy to help you. If you want to discuss with me what you are doing in your, with your, uh, what you are going to study, or if you have two options and you haven't decided, you can come to Zoom, ask me, I can give you some advice. In the end, I'm not the god of research. Also, you can challenge me. You don't have to listen to me in this matter of what I suggest. Usually, it's a good idea to listen to your supervisor. I think I've heard to my supervisor and did what he wanted to, when he and she, because I had to, wanted me to do in 99% of the cases, but sometimes I had to step against them and say, no, not really, but it's good. We can discuss and everything. And I have some news, just to finish with this video. I was assigned a doctoral student from EGADE to work with me. She's going to be a teaching assistant, so she's going to assist me in my classes. So she's going to help us a lot in here. She's very into quantitative methods, but she also knows about qualitative methods. I think she will come next class, next week, or at least she's going to do a video or something so she can introduce